A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics says parents should be talking to their kids about the dangers of alcohol starting at the age of 9. 9 years old. Were you as surprised as I was to hear this? Here's the thing, though. It may not necessarily be that your kids are drinking. The report says it's important kids know the potential risks long before they ever take their first drink. To discuss, joining me via Skype, Dr. Sujatha Reddy, and here in studio, Jennifer Kitt, a parent herself and also life coach. Let me start with you, though, Dr. Reddy, because as I said, maybe I'm a purist and I think I want my 9-year-old or 3rd or 4th grader to be out in the yard playing. But why do you say that might be naive?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It'd be great if all they did was play outside, but we're realizing that children as young as 9 are bombarded with messages that somewhat glamorize alcohol. And by the time kids are 11 to 13, the majority of them will admit to experimenting. And by the time they're in high school, even a freshman in high school, the majority will say that they have binge drank. So it really is occurring at a young age. So it's important the messages start from parents at an early age.
Well, and also it's getting them to understand the health effects. And Jennifer, for you, I know you made this a conversation in your family and an important one for a long time.
Absolutely.
How do you have that conversation?
It is not a conversation. It is a continual dialogue. It's educating your children about everything in life, including alcohol. It is a very real subject that comes up quite often and quite early. So for us, it was dinner conversation, it was lunch conversation, it was conversation on Saturday or Sunday, especially when my husband and I took an interest in wine and drinking wine and learning more about wine. Opening up a dialogue and a conversation about what alcohol is, how it's made, manufactured, educating them really makes it not weird.
And it's sort of, Dr. Reddy, how you have that conversation, because I've known kids that I went to college with that were sheltered, put in a bubble. They got to college and they were like, oh my gosh, my parents aren't around, I'm going to drink.
Exactly.
And it went crazy. So how is that conversation the most effective so you're not making it sheltered, you're making it educational?
Well, I think what Jennifer said is perfect. You want to make it sort of a family discussion. And as Jennifer said, you kind of want to lead by example. It's okay, you know, as a family, we're having a glass of wine. Wine can enhance food. It's part of the dining experience. But then also educate to the dangers. And that's where I think sort of, you know, educating also by example, where you don't have a crazy adult party that kids are, you know, can witness. But you make it part of the regular family dialogue where it's not taboo and it's okay to ask questions, and maybe it's okay to have a sip and understand.
Oh, and that's, we were talking about this. This is how they do it in Europe.
Absolutely, that's how they do it in Europe. And I have all of my children now are moving into the professional realms. Before they were 21, they were exposed in a professional setting at dinner interviews, at job interviews, internships. Alcohol is everywhere. If we do not have that conversation, you're going to get your kids in trouble.
And just to get people's head around how serious this is, the report says 21% of young people had a sip of alcohol before they were 13. 79% had a drink by the time they were seniors in high school. So if you think your kids aren't out there experimenting, you may be the one that's naive.
We made 21, just really quick, a really special thing. We took our son to Vegas when he turned 21. So the first, you know, whiskey trying was with mom, with dad in Vegas at a hotel. Once again, continuing the education process because I don't want them to get into trouble.
Jennifer Kitt, Dr. Reddy, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.